All right, Tristan Thompson is one of the newest members of the Boston Celtics, and we're fortunate enough to have him join us right now for an exclusive interview. Tristan, before this started, I saw you put that jersey on for the very first time. So what's it feel like to wear Celtics green after 9 years of your career to start it out wearing another jersey in Cleveland?
Feels like it belongs. I feel like it belongs on me. That's what it feels like. I feel like it belongs on me. Historical franchise. Had a lot of battles against the green, against the seas. So I think it's only right that I, come to Beantown and try to do something special and join these young fellas and make the city proud.
Well, you got the jersey on now. Let's recap your last 5 days. You flew here 5 days ago. Then you signed here on Monday. And then on Tuesday, individual workouts started out. So this all is happening pretty quickly. I know for me, that would overwhelm me. But what's this experience been like for you? Because it's not a normal free agency experience for someone joining a new team and a new city.
Yeah, no, you're right. You hit on the head. It's definitely it's fast paced. It's been I guess that's 2020 in a nutshell, right? It's just like it's the unexpected. You sign to a team, then you got to fly 2 days later. Then next thing you know, you're on the court working out. So I mean, it's just the nature of the new normal now for us. But I'm excited. Everyone here has been very welcoming and makes me feel like that I was wanted and everyone's when they talk to me and make me feel very welcome, make me feel very family oriented, and I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be wanted.
And you're definitely wanted because this team has seen what you can do on the court. But with that being said, you've seen what they can do on the court. You just said a few minutes ago to the general media that you wanted to join this team because it's so young and because it's so talented, and you saw that in person on the court. What is it about the players that are now your teammates? What did you learn about them that made you want to join the Boston Celtics?
Just seeing how much these guys improved every year individually, and obviously it showed for them as a team. I could pick any guy and just say how much they've got better. I mean, listen, look, we took it. Pick Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart comes into the NBA. He does 2 years in Oklahoma. He could have been a number 1 pick. Gets to the Celtics around number 8th pick. Comes in and doesn't have an outside shot. Plays us in the playoffs, makes 6 threes. Every year he's got better from his perimeter shooting. And last year, he shot in, I think, the mid-30s, if I'm not mistaken. So he's got better every year. Jaylen Brown, coming off the bench and, not playing as much his first year. Then his second year, taking that giant leap once they got rid of Jay Crowder to actually being, 15 points per game scorer. And then last year, playing the 4 to 3 at times and averaging 20 points per game and really should have been an all-star. JT, that game 7 against us in Cleveland, against Cleveland, but here at the Garden, making big plays and just showing everyone that, it's potential, but he's proving it. So these guys have got better every single year. And, look at how old they are. They're all 24, 25. They're all young, so they're all trending in the right direction. And for me, wanting to be back on the stage and being part of a team that has championship aspirations, that's what it's about for me in my career. Last 2 years for me in Cleveland was a rebuilding situation, trying to figure out post LeBron. So when the opportunity came and Mr. Ainge called me and how much, he wanted me here and the multiple phone calls and whether it was Kemba, JT, Jaylen, how much they wanted me here, it was a no-brainer. So, these guys are trending in the right direction. So if I can come in and whatever wisdom or however I can help them try to get over the hump, that's what I'm about. That's what I'm here for.
And I'll point out what you said about Tatum. That happened during his rookie season, which was just wild for me to watch. He was really incredible as a rookie during that postseason. But talking about these guys that you just mentioned, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, a bunch of the rest of the players on this roster, they were playing in September. You've been off since March. And if you're not counting, that's 9 months, which is crazy. And you described it as Groundhog Day. But what did those 9 months look like for you?
Groundhog Day, literally Monday to Friday, working out, whether on the basketball court or in the weight room, really just doing the same thing. But, the best time for me was when basketball came back on because it gave me something to watch. There's only so much Netflix and HGTV you can actually watch every day. So I was happy that sports was back on, and I was definitely watching, all the Celtics games because I know how much, they wanted to try to get me during the trade deadline. So I knew there was a real possibility when free agency came around. Obviously you got to work out logistics with the Gordon situation and whatnot. So I kept an eye on it. I really wanted to know if if this is one of the destinations for me, I want to know what I'm getting myself into. And, watching them play and how hard they compete and how much these young guys, of course, I've known Kemba for years, so I know he's a gamer. But and Tice did an amazing job for them at the center position with the opportunities he got and how hard he played. But those three guys, Smart, Brown, and Tatum, how much their game has evolved over the years. It shows. It gives a lot of credit to the coaching staff. Brad Stevens, his coaching staff has got these guys better every year, and that's what you want when you draft a player. When you draft a kid, you want to mold them into a player, and that's what has happened here. So for me, being able to come here, and if I can, get 2% better here, that changes my game even more. So I want to be part of that culture and that environment.
So while you were watching the Celtics on TV and while you were watching HGTV and good old Netflix, what are some of the shows that you pulled out of there? We got to know what you were watching that whole time.
Man, I was watching Money Heist. I was watching Love It or List It. I was watching Below Deck. I was watching Southern Charm. Shout out our rookie, Aaron. He's from Charleston. So, me and him were talking about Charleston. I feel like I'm a Charlestonian by how much I watch Southern Charm. And all these other Love Island and all these stuff, when you got a family at home, you got to watch everything to make your significant other happy too. So I was watching it. I was enjoying myself. And then, being with my daughter and my son, it was picture perfect. If basketball is not available, as long as my family's with me, I'm a happy camper.
Well, I got to say, you like the drama shows. I like the drama shows too, right?
Yeah.
those are fun.
They're fun to watch. I like to see what's going on in somebody else's life. I want to see, Sally, how crazy people live their life to make me feel a little better about myself.
100%. I'm right there with you. But while you're watching that stuff, I mean, the game was taken away from you. And this is a game that your entire life has revolved around since you were a little kid, probably around 10 years old. So what was that like? I mean, that's the first time that's ever happened to you. And you're going on 30 years old.
Yeah, no, it was definitely tough. It just showed me just how much I, really missed the game. I think when you're playing in the NBA and you're playing, all these games and you're playing, whether it's going to the playoffs or the finals, it takes up so much of your life that sometimes you almost forget like how good the game has been to you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people might take it for granted, but then once it's taken away from you, it's like, man, like I just want to get back on the court and just be around my teammates, having that camaraderie, whether it's, having a team dinner or going through practice or, hearing each other argue with each other after a game, after a tough loss. Like you just miss that. You just miss what the game brings. So, for me, that was the worst part about this whole, of course, yes, people getting sick in the pandemic, that's terrible. But, just the game being taken away from you, it was a terrible feeling.
Well, now you're back. You're here on the Celtics. And you said that you heard that the teams you beat up on, especially during the postseason, are the teams that want you. So there's definitely great reason why the Celtics wanted you, because you always pounded them on the glass when you played against them in the playoffs. But now that you're here, now that you're wearing that green Celtics uniform, how do you think your skill set is going to complement the other guys on this team?
I think it's a compliment a lot, especially with the guards we have. These guards, they attract so much on the offensive end. So for me, it's really simple. You set a good screen and race to the rim. I'm going to make sure I set a good screen to get the 2-on-1 action. So, myself and the guard, whoever comes out the pick and roll, it's going to be a really simple, easy read. And I think what I do great, which is rolling hard to the rim and creating opportunities for my teammates or for myself, I think it's picture perfect here with these great guards. I've played with, other amazing guards with like Kyrie and Bron, where, my job was very simple and you'll eat off that. And I think defensively, this team was fourth in defense, and in terms of pain and center position, it was a little thin for them. So for me to come in and be a big body and a physical body and having that defensive mindset where we take it personal and I take it personal, where I want to lock this guy up and make his life a living hell, I think it plays hand in hand with me and Smart on the court together.
Well, you take all of those things, and that's not the only stuff that you bring to the Celtics. You also bring a championship ring and championship experience. And Danny Ainge talked about that earlier this week, that's not only important, but even more so how you won that title. What is the greatest lesson that you learned in coming back from being down 3-1 against a 73-win team to win that title back in 2016 that maybe you might be able to translate into this team and teach these guys about?
I think coming back from 3-1, us coming back from 3-1 didn't start after we lost game 4. I think us be able to come back from 3-1, it started from the beginning of training camp. I think we all knew what the goal was. We knew that, the year before, Kyrie had the kneecap situation and K-Love had the shoulder surgery. So guys came back motivated. And it's what you do from September to that moment in June, what you do in between that gap is what makes you prepared for that moment being down 3-1. We punch in the clock every day. We stay consistent. Don't cut no corners. There might be those days where you don't feel like, you have the energy to do that one extra rep in practice or do that one extra bench press, but you do that one extra, that plays a huge role in terms of when you get in a foxhole. But I think for our team was that the unity we had, how close the guys were, because we had guys from all different stages of career. We had guys like Richard Jefferson and Channing Frye that are at the tail end of their career. We have LeBron and K-Love who are in their mid-30s. We had myself, Kyrie, and Dellavedova, and Shumpert and JR, who is, in the 20s and late 20s, that we had such a strong connection and bond with each other. We would, we'd do dinner together. We would drink wine and hang out. We'd do things together so that when you're in a situation like down 3-1, you're not looking at your teammate and saying, screw this guy, it's over, let me go pack for Cancun. We looked at each other and said, you know what? We can do this. Take it one game at a time. Believe in each other, because when you have that unity off the court, I'm a strong believer. When you're together off the court, when you're on the court, it's easy breezy. I think it's easy breezy. I think off the court's the toughest part because everyone has so much other things going on. But if you could find something that could bring you guys together, it helps you in those situations. And that's what I took from coming back from 3-1 is that, thank God we were such a tight-knit group, because you saw in the bubble other teams that were down 3-1 or a team that was up 3-1, some of them just they cash out. They cash out and said it's over. They just get ready to pack their bags. So the fact that we stayed locked in together and said, you know what, we believe and we can do this, that's one of the biggest lessons I've ever learned in my life.
Yeah, no question. You saw it happen for the first 9 years of your career. I've seen it happen with teams on the court. There's no question off the court and how a team has chemistry and how they get along can certainly help on the court. Tristan Thompson, man, it's been a pleasure talking to you here. You've been on the wrong side of a meme here in Celtics land. It's time to get you on the right side of it here moving forward. Thanks for joining me today, man. I look forward to seeing you in person and seeing you on the court.
No, I appreciate it, Mark. Appreciate it. We're here, baby. Let's do it.